Today, I'll be sharing with you 6 common threats that people will face every day when it comes to cybersecurity and how you can protect yourself against them. Threat number 1, phishing. Everyone had probably received a phishing email at some point in their life. Phishing is essentially an attacker crafting an email that sends to a random individual hoping to obtain their sensitive information. Information such as your passwords, for example. You might receive an email that is asking you to log into your email account, and if you log into your email account, you might have just given your credentials away to the attacker. Recommendations and best practices for phishing. The first step in defending yourself is to be aware that phishing exists. Be cautious of unsolicited emails. If the email that you received is not expected, you can verify the sender. If there are any links or attachments to it, make sure you take a step back and think about it. If the email has some kind of urgency or sensitivity tied to it, you could always verify the sender by calling them. But most importantly, make sure you have what is called multi-factor authentication. This will add on an extra layer of protection. So just in case you do provide the credentials to the attacker, it would make it much more difficult for the attacker to compromise your account. Threat number 2, malware. Malware stands for malicious software. Now there are a ton of different types of malware. However, their main purpose are usually to compromise computers, steal user data, or hold data hostage for ransom, aka ransomware. The recommendations and best practices to protect yourself against this threat is the following. You want to make sure you always use an antivirus that is up to date. Make sure it is enabled and not disabled. Do keep in mind that these aren't 100% perfect, but it is, again, to make it much more difficult for the attacker to compromise, in this case, your machine. And that is why you don't want to click on random links and download attachments from emails that you're not expecting, because those can lead to malware. Threat number 3, password attacks. Using a password is the most common way for us to authenticate ourselves. Most websites and applications usually ask you for a username and password before you can access the data. So in theory, we are the only ones that should know our password. And because of that, we should be safe, right? Right? Wrong. A lot of times, individuals are guilty of using short passwords that are extremely easy to guess. Or they might use common passwords such as password or winter and enter in your year. The recommendation and best practices against password attacks are the following. First, you want to make sure you want to use what is called a passphrase. A passphrase is different than a password, and it is typically stronger than a password. Nobody is going to remember a random 15-character password. Instead, it is much easier for you as the user to remember a passphrase. It's a nice and long passphrase. For example, wow, this is some great advice, my DFIR. Second, make sure you enable MFA, also known as multi-factor authentication, because like I mentioned previously, it makes it that much more difficult for the attacker to compromise your account. And last but not least, use a password manager such as Bitwarden, for example. This will allow you to create a unique password for all of your accounts. That way you don't use the same password, but you do have to create a master password to log into Bitwarden. Now do make sure you use a passphrase rather than a password. That way it will allow you as the user, again, to remember it. Also, a password is typically much more difficult to crack. Threat number 4. Social engineering. Social engineering is when an attacker tries to manipulate another human being to provide them with sensitive information. Because why not? We are way too nice. For example, you might receive a phone call from tech support claiming that they're from Microsoft or Apple, stating that your computer might be infected with malware and they need you to install a remote access tool so they can connect to your machine. Recommendations and best practices for social engineering is the following. Stranger danger. Don't talk to strangers. Be skeptical of the emails you receive, anyone showing up at your front door, your phone calls, and also your text messages. You have probably heard this general rule of thumb before, but if anything seems too good to be true, it probably is. You want to make sure you always verify the request before you share sensitive information. For example, if somebody calls stating that they're from tech support, hang up the phone and actually call tech support yourself. Another good example is when you receive an email stating that your account has been locked or is about to close because of suspicious activity. Rather than clicking on the link found in the email, you want to visit the actual website instead and sign in from there. Again, do not click on random links and download attachments from the internet. Why? Because it might be laced with malware. Threat number 5, unsecured Wi-Fi networks. One threat that I want people to be more aware of is unsecured Wi-Fi. Now, I do understand why people tend to connect to these because typically these Wi-Fis are free and easy to use. What they may not realize is that connecting to these unsecured Wi-Fis comes with a lot of risk, such as eavesdropping, which is when an attacker secretly listens in on your traffic. For example, if you're sitting in Starbucks or anywhere that provides you with free public Wi-Fi and you start entering sensitive information such as your bank account number and your password, for example, anyone who tampers with the network can potentially listen in and see your traffic, meaning they can see your bank number and password or whatever sensitive information that you're entering. So what are the recommendations and best practices for unsecured Wi-Fi? Use a VPN, also known as a virtual private network. This will help secure your network connection, making it difficult for attackers to eavesdrop on your traffic. Remember, we cannot stop all attacks, but we can make it difficult for the attacker to compromise our data. And that is the goal. Last but not least, threat number 6 is outdated software and security patches. Failing to regularly update our software and security patches is an excellent way for attackers to exploit our vulnerabilities. Security patches exist because vendors had noticed a flaw in their product security. If you don't apply this patch, you leave yourself open and vulnerable to whatever flaw was discovered. Recommendations and best practices for threat number 6. Make sure you perform regular software updates. A lot of vendors offer automatic updates. As long as this feature is enabled, your product can stay updated. The threat landscape is constantly changing. Staying informed and updated on what threat is popular and how you can protect against these threats will greatly enhance your online security. If you are someone trying to get started in cybersecurity, you don't have to do this alone. I want to help you with that journey, which is why I created a site called mydfir.com, which you can sign up for free mentorship, no strings attached. And this is where I'll be posting books I recommend, cybersecurity resources, and blog posts. That is it for the video. If you found it informative, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe if you want to. Remember to always stay curious and do things differently.